What's up? Video number 2. I appreciate my subscriber. Anyways, selling books, FBA, cherry picking on Amazon, $1 to $2 buy cost. Lots of people are doing it. Lots of people are not making any money whatsoever. I want to reinforce and kind of end the debate about cheap book models. A lot of the new sellers are selling $15 average sale price. There are some veterans too, but there's tons and tons of people that don't understand the financials of running a book business. It's because they're using a phone app to evaluate their business instead of a properly generated financial statement, a P&L, profit and loss statement. So I've got a couple years selling books on Amazon full time, and I've got a decade of being a district manager and teaching people to evaluate their P&L to run a more efficient business. Realize when you have one of these cheaper book models, $15 book models, a lot of people don't deliberately have that kind of a cheap book model. What happens is you go out sourcing and you pick up a book, and maybe it's a thin paperback worth $12, and you say, okay, Amazon pays out $4 or $5, I get $1 buy cost, I'll net $3 or $4 on it. So you buy that book. You're not trying to have a $15 ASP, but that's what you're doing. You're creating a behavior pattern that's going to repeat itself thousands of times throughout the year, especially if you're full-time, trying to make a full-time income doing this. And you're killing your business. You're bankrupting yourself, and you're not going to make any money. And I'm going to show you many, many ways why that's true. So to jump in, here is on the screen, you should be able to see, this is a year ago I was selling books. I sold 3,700 units at an $18.38 average sale price. This is from a financial statement. It's a profit and loss statement. I use a third-party software called Fetcher. It ties directly into Seller Central. Every time there's a return, every time they move books from one warehouse to another, every time I'm hit with unexpected fees, it communicates, Seller Central communicates with my third-party software, and it updates to my profit and loss center. The meat of your P&L is where all the important costs are. It's not on your phone app. It's the meat of your P&L. So selling 3,700 units, I did $67,483. The most important number here is my margin. I made 26%. I put 26% to the bottom line, which was $17,708. Once I know that, I can continue on with this book model or I can abandon it. But I know if I want to make $52,000, then I got to sell $200,000 worth of books to this model. That may be possible. It may not, depending on who you are and where you are and how much time you're sourcing. But I want to compare some different models. I want to look at that $15 disaster of a book model. Now that I know what the financials are, I can transpose those numbers, and I can tell you how much money any model makes. Yes, my numbers are going to be a little bit different than somebody else. You might drive a little less or more. You might take, use hotels more than I do, whatever. It's going to be close enough. So a $15 model selling the same number of units, 3,700 units, I will address accept rates later. Yes, this person can probably buy 3, 4, 5 times as many books that meet this $15 criteria. Somebody who's got this model, they're probably buying $10, $11, $12 paperback books. That's their floor price. Those books are very, very common. You can find tons of those books. So I'll address that later. But for right now, we want to know what the profit margin is on this model. So $55,500, I'm sorry, $55,274 after these adjustments. That's what you're going to sell on a 15 ASP, 3,700 units. The only numbers that change, realize cost of goods, if I'm sourcing the same book sales and thrifts and whatever I'm doing, my cost of goods is going to be the same. My inbound shipping is going to cost the same. A book weighs what a book weighs, etc. These that are highlighted in pink, those are the numbers that change. The order fees go down slightly, $29,263. If you want to compare that to the $18 model that I just showed you, It was 31,113, so it went down a couple grand. That's because the fees on Amazon are relatively flat. When you sell a book, the referral fee is the only thing that changes. It's 15% of the gross value of the book. That's what changes. It's not dramatic. In other words, you're paying $8 in fees roughly to sell a $10 book compared to a $25 book. It does go up some, but I'm going to show that. So my total expenses, that obviously changed because my order fees changed. $47,925. So off of $55,274, my margin, the most important number in my business, is 13%. This person would net $7,349. To put that into perspective, if you want to net just a very modest $50,000 per year in your business, you have to do $390,000 in sales. You have to sell 26,000 books to make 50 grand on this model. I'm going to show it gets much, much worse for this model as I continue on. Much worse than this. But let's compare that to a $25 average sale price. So here we go. 25 ASP, yes, your accept rate is going to go down dramatically. I'll address that later. Anyways, 3,700 units at a $25 ASP, that would produce $92,274 in sales. The orders fees, what was the 15 ASP? I think it was 29,000. So it went up about 10 grand going from a 15 to a 25. Going up 10 bucks, it went up about $10,000. Now my total expenses, everything else being consistent, I'm driving the same amount. My reoccurring fees, my subscriptions, all that is the same. Cost of goods is the same, etc., etc. What does this produce? Most important number on the financial statement, 37% to the bottom line. I net 34,355 bucks off to 92 grand. In order to make a $50,000 a year income, I have to sell 5,440 books for $136,000 gross. Think about that, 136,000 bucks gross compared to almost 400,000. This is obtainable. You will see tons of veterans in the book forums sharing their average sale price. Just go look into it. And most people have $25, $35, $40 average sale price. You don't see anybody with a cheap book models that is making a full-time income. There's a reason for that. So that concludes the first part of this video. I would have killed for this information when I was a rookie. Please share this with other rookies or veterans who just are not on top of their finances. I'm going to continue on with this video, but also probably going to split it and talk about how to maximize your hourly income, how to maximize your cash flow, and why, furthermore, the $15 average sale price will bankrupt you every single time if you have the same criteria I mentioned, $1 to $2 buy cost. You're cherry picking your scanning stores. I'm going to help you double, triple your income if you just stick around. All right, thanks.